Episode 2, Art or AI.
DJ Mike J.A. What is that?
DJ Mike J.A. Let's begin the show for the day.
AI technologies have been spoken about in the tech world for a while, especially in the sci-fi world, where they have accurately predicted the future of AI and its advancements. Fast forward to current time in 2026, we are hit with so many different models of AI that it's hard to keep up with the daily news on how quick AI is advancing, learning, and becoming more of a tool, and sometimes in certain scenarios with business, a replacement. This season, we'll be talking about all that with AI technologies when it comes down to movie production, sound production, and just the way that it helps this business and how it also can hurt it. You're tapped in to Pixels and Decibels by DJ Mike J.A. A lot of companies are definitely looking towards AI to help calm down the overhead expense when it comes down to production for music, for soundtracks, for simple things as hold music while you're on a phone call. So AI isn't going anywhere, but AI is definitely being used in a way that is replacing the musician. There are games that are using generative AI musical instrumentation in order to create background tracks and cut down the cost of paying a producer to get those tracks, licensed, produced, mixed, and mastered for such productions as video games, as commercials, and even now lately, even in movies. We need to realize that AI is not going anywhere, and there are some advantages and disadvantages to this tool. When it comes down to music production, you're taking that hard-earned person that took times doing vocal runs, chord practices, all that in their time, experimentations they tried, maybe even, musical influence that they've got from other countries and cultures and have made it their own. Now, I can honestly say, and I will say this on my own podcast, I have used AI for production. To keep it real with y'all, the track you're currently listening to on my podcast right now is an AI-assisted produced track. Now, not all AI produced, but definitely AI has polished it up in order to get me the format and the instruments I needed as soon as I put the idea in. It's a dangerous thing, but it's also an awesome tool for, of course, up-and-coming creators like myself that don't have a major budget or label or production company behind them. Heck, even me as a producer, I can't keep up with how much content I would have to create to back up every episode and to get the sound and vibe that I wanted. I wanted to concentrate more on the content and not the production. So I took my decision on this podcast to take a seat back on the actual sound production and decided to have AI help me produce it. So in this perfect example, AI produce music. You've been listening to it. What do you think? I mean, come on now. What do you think? Let's be real. For the purpose I use it for, it does its justice. It does its job. The problem that I have is when you start having producers come out there and say that they produced it or they can do it. I mean, let's be real. If you have never, ever produced a track, had a song played on the radio, nonetheless, be a DJ, like in my scenario, then what makes you think you have the right to just, claim, credit for producing the idea that you output? I tinkered with it with some lo-fi stuff, and y'all are welcome to check it out. I have a lo-fi project out called Lo-Fi Drill. Let me tell you, 20% of my production, 80% AI. I really use it for background music on my own TikToks. I'm a big fan of the lo-fi genres, and I've was realizing through my research that there are a lot of channels and productions that are AI produced. Now, for those that don't know lo-fi is real minimum music. It's gonna have a real soft beat, real basic melody, something that's not going to be too crunk with heavy bass. If it does have heavy bass, it'll be a smooth bass that kind of rides and kind of just helps you relax and chill out. So I'm a big fan of that. And yes, I've actually produced my own original lo-fi. But let me tell you, pumping it out through an AI machine with your chords keyed in, with your example melodies punched into the system, and then with a couple of edits of some EQ and maybe, replacing bass lines or portions, you can have an amazing track. But the issue still lies. It wasn't 100% produced by me. Now, based off the law, through ownership, for example, through Suno, the one that actually is behind the multi-million-dollar AI artist deal that just got signed at Timberland, by the way, acknowledged and signed off on. You have the right as a paid subscriber with their services to put this content out. I know because I've done my research and I have been testing the waters myself. Now, because of that, I don't go on tour. I don't claim to be, the greatest producer in the world. I just love having fun on putting my ideas that I have on paper or on, I guess you can say, on a notepad, and pretty much generating a good idea, or just output from everything I've kind of put together. Now, when it comes down to the industry, there are some artists, as I mentioned, that are just full AI generated from that program I mentioned called Suno. Some are amazing because guess what? The lyrics are heartfelt and written by an actual person. But again, what it took sometimes 10 to 30 people to put together and it's original song, down from production, recording, engineering, mastering, engineering. I mean, I was watching some of these guys that would like literally do the masters in certain warehouses with vinyl, and they were literally mastered by hand on the vinyl. We don't have that anymore. AI is taking care of everything from your artists to the actual final product at the end of the day. So I understand it's going to be a lot of debate out there. And I just, want to say that AI and art are blending. If we haven't realized it, as I mentioned on the last episode, AI and art are definitely blending. If you don't believe that you have listened to an AI produced track, heck, maybe even an AI podcast where someone was talking and they weren't talking, could have been AI generated. You'd be surprised. I would say you're kind of silly to think that hasn't happened at this point. AI has accelerated at a rate we didn't expect. I mean, I expected it to kind of help accelerate itself, but not this fast. So again, AI or art, I want y'all to be in the comments here on this podcast, here in the YouTube channel. Thanks for those that, by the way, stopped by episode 1 just to provide their input. Speaking of input, I do have my comment of the week actually from one of my listeners. Give me 1 second to pull that up. Let me. Okay, I got it. So, what I was asking on my TikTok channel here, which I didn't get much to feedback, but I appreciate Richard Rod for going ahead and responding. I asked the question here: in what ways has AI helped advance or make your everyday to day activities easier or worse? He said, I hardly use Chat GTP, but when I do GPT, Lord have mercy, but I do use it for ideas on my house. I took a photo of my room and asked it to see about maybe improvements on my bedroom, and it did help with giving me great ideas. Even did a mock photo for me and everything. So that is where AI can definitely come in to be a beautiful advantage tool. Thank you for that input, man. I appreciate you for taking the time to go ahead and provide that comment, Richard. Same thing here. I use it for everything from getting this show put on. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of y'all's week. I hope to get more into depth on further episodes and more depth and more episodes. I'm really still getting my grooving with this, and I want to keep dropping episodes on a weekly basis as promised. But I appreciate y'all. Take care.
DJ Mike JA. What is that?